Well, welcome to another segment of ZoeTV. Today we have a great show for you. So we have a resident profile with Tom Grode, and he is terrific.
Love
he
Tom.
is like our poster child for Zoe life.
He is. He gets questioned everywhere he goes,
Yeah.
and they say, how are you able to do so many
That's
amazing
right.
exercises and show us in our comfort of our home how to do them? And he said, you know what, I started just like you on day one. I wasn't, that strong. I had always worked out, but his story and his testimony to kind of where he is now to where he was a year ago, it's fun to listen to.
Well, it is, and you find out a little bit more about him personally as well. So, and then we also introduce you today to a new employee that we have here on campus, Ronnie Connor, and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself, where he came from, and what he's going to be doing on our campus. And of course, we're having the continuation of Jake's amazing recipe.
Part 2 of 4.
Isn't this the third one? I think, okay, part 2. And so by the time we get done, we're gonna have a complete meal, I'm sure of it. So it is. And then of course, Steve has some more tips for you so that you can do it in your home. So please stay with us. Enjoy the show today. We're really excited about it. Thanks.
Hello friends. Today we are going to be making a fresh Pico de Gallo. So for our Pico de Gallo, today we're going to be using some fresh Roma tomatoes, nice red color. We're going to be using some fresh limes that we're going to be juicing for that. We're going to be using red onions, and we're going to be using fresh cilantro. So for the tomato, the first thing I want to do is I want to take off that core. That core isn't edible. It's not good. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. You can just slice it off. You do end up wasting a little bit of the tomato. So then you want to cut it in half. I like the seeds in mine. I think that that's where a lot of the flavor of the tomato comes from. But what you're going for is a nice consistent dice. Now, depending on your event, you can de-seed it if you want a little bit cleaner. The way you would de-seed it is you would cut it in half and then cut it in half again into quarters. Open those tomatoes up, and you'd take the front of the knife and you'd almost press down, taking that core out. But again, this is where a lot of the sweetness from the tomato, this is a lot of the tomato flavor, this is where that comes from. So depending upon the event, I opt to leave that in. But now with the nice seeded tomato, you're gonna take nice julienne slices, and you're able to make nice clean dices. So I'm gonna scoop all those in the bowl, and then we're gonna cut our onions. All right, so for our onion, I like to try to get a baseball size onion. All the red onions obviously are all grown differently. Some grow real wide, some grow real big. I'm from Washington State. We love onions there. They're grown in massive softball sizes, all the way down to golf ball sizes. But for this application, I really like a baseball size. We're gonna cut off the root. We're gonna cut off the other side of the root. We're gonna lay it on its end, and then we're gonna cut it in half. After we get in half, we're gonna take off that first layer, that real dry, most of the time it ends up in the bag when you bring it home from the store, but we're gonna take all that off because this is not something that you want in your Pico de Gallo. You want that nice, juicy, antioxidant red onion. So, but with the flat side down, you're basically going to make some incisions, leaving the onion all the way together. So we're about leaving that much of the onion together, which will be fine later when we get ready to chop it. Also, depending on your crowd of people, hopefully you know if you have some onion people, this is about the dice of my onion. So as you can see, it's about a 1/4 inch of onion. I'm gonna flip it around so I can get the top of that onion as well. So then I'm gonna flip it back on its side. So an onion runs like this, all of the layers run like this, and now we've cut this way, so we just need 2 more cuts. And basically we're gonna cut down through those to create our dice. Same thing, about a 1/4 inch width apart. Now we're gonna turn that. As we turn it, we're gonna cut through and we have that nice dice. Nice, even, same distance all the way around. 1/4 inch dice. So now we get to the end of the onion and we don't have any more incisions. So now we're gonna take this diced onions and we're gonna add them to our diced tomatoes straight to the mixing bowl. So right now I have some already peeled garlic, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off these roots. These roots tend to be real coarse, really not edible as well. We don't really want that to end up in our pico. And again, depending on if you have garlic lovers, depending on how much pico you're making, we're using about 8 tomatoes, we're using 1 onion. So we're gonna use probably about 8 cloves of garlic. So with the garlic, you're gonna do the same kind of motion as the onion. You're gonna do nice little incisions. And then you're gonna kind of turn it on its side and get 1 little slice. And then as we cut through it, it'll be that nice dice. So now that we have our chopped garlic, we can add that to our bowl. I'm gonna scrape that right into the bowl. We are now going to chop fresh cilantro. Most cilantros come in a bunch. This actually came as a cleaned bunch, so it's not so much in a bunch. There's a lot of loose stems. Again, there's a lot of people, depending on the application, will sit and take some of the bulkier stems out. They don't have a lot of flavor in them, in the actual stem. A lot of the flavor actually comes from the leaf. So if you see some of those real bulky stems, take them out. But if you don't want to and you're tight on time, that's okay too. But basically what I want to do is I want to take this big mound of grass here and I want to just continue to roll it up into a little tight little ball. And what that's going to do, it's going to allow me to give me a surface area on how to cut it and chop it. So I'm now going to take my knife and I'm just going to, holding my cilantro nice and tight ball, I'm going to cut through it. Keeping it as tight as I can all the way to the end. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 fingers on the top of my knife and I'm just going to run my knife through it in different directions. I'm going to bring it all back to the center. You don't want to be all over you're not dancing. This isn't a dance. This isn't the salsa. We're making pico. So you really want to be nice and tight. Going to bring it in and you're just going to continue to work that center all the way out until you have a nice chopped pico or chopped cilantro. So the first thing let's add a nice hefty pinch of that cilantro. We're gonna mix that up, get some of those nice colors, get some more of that nice flavor. Again, balance, balance, balance. So the next thing we do is we're gonna take these limes and I take off the cores and I half it. So now that lime is nice and ready to go right inside to this pico. So what the lime is going to do, it's going to be that acid that's going to pull those flavors out. So we're going to add 4 halves. We're going to add 2 each limes to the whole pico. And then we're going to taste it. So now we have a nice balance. We're gonna add a little bit of salt to that. And we're gonna add just a little bit of pepper. Pico de Gallo.
On today's resident profile, we are so excited to be joined by Mr. Tom Grode. Grode's been with us from beta to inception. So in the middle of February, we got our hands on this guy.
And he's the poster child for Zoe Life.
He's the absolute poster child.
He is, yes.
Every fitness tip that we do, Tom has been our poster
it.
child, superstar, demonstrating perfect form. So Tom, thank you for joining us. We built you up into this unbelievable athlete, but it's true.
It is true.
He's unbelievable.
We talked about it before the show.
So how have you enjoyed your time with us? So go all the way back to February, March of last year. It's been a year. Tell us what your thoughts are.
Yeah, well, I was glad to see that a Zoe program like you have was starting up, because I had been doing exercises on my own, just walking around from Butler to Alice and around the campus, but I'd gotten out of the habit of it. So then when I saw that the Zoe plan was starting up here and saw this exercise room, I said, I'm certainly going to get back into it.
Well, and you've been athletic your entire life. We talked a little bit about
sports,
that before. So, I mean, you've been very active your entire life. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was just a perfect opportunity to get back into swing of things and get going again.
That's very cool.
There was a few pounds I wanted to lose, and it's
Do you feel like your stamina is better? You have more endurance?
Oh, I can feel it just walking around. It feels stronger.
Yes.
And you feel better.
Well, and he's working you out so much, you look stronger.
Here's what I would say about Tom in his workouts. Like, everybody that comes down, it's obviously customized.
Right.
So whether you come down in your wheelchair or walker, you see this room and you're just seeing a little bit of every lifestyle. And then you got Tom, who would be the epitome of somebody that can really do a lot of the things that we can have the capability of doing. And that's why we used him to show the fitness tips, is because from a form perspective in some of these exercises, people come down and say, there's no way I would even try that. How is he doing that? And I said, well, it started with, at the beginning, working on your flexibility. That started everything, right?
Yeah, we start
slow. And you make
slow
it look so easy.
Well, we start slow and then it builds up, and it gets easier as you go along and do things. You can do more things. He has so many different exercises to do that it's...
We try to keep the variance high, right? So we don't get bored down here. We want to keep everybody happy and trying new things. So of all the things that we've done with you, we've done a lot of strength work, and that's where he's gotten a lot stronger, a lot of core work. We've really hammered on his core and his hips, and his flexibility. What do you think has paid the most dividends in your lifestyle? Getting stronger, more flexible, core stronger, all of it connected. What do you think?
Well, it's all connected. It's getting the general feeling of being stronger, and you can just sense it when you're walking around that if you need some strength to do things, it just it's easier because you know you can do it.
How long have you lived here, Tom?
4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in July.
Oh my goodness.
That I've lived here. And I came here from Fountain Hills. I've been in Arizona since 2003.
Oh, nice. And, where were you from before that?
Well, Maryland. I lived in Maryland for 30 years. Worked out there, and then just wanted to get to the warmer weather.
Sure.
Yes.
So I came out to Arizona.
Sure. So we know how good you do the workouts. Everybody's seen them. Tell us what's so cool I like about Tom is just as important to him on the physical side is the intellectual side.
Right.
And so tell us about your passion for ongoing education and learning. Tell us some of the tools you use.
That's one thing that I like to do. I like to learn a lot of things, a lot of different subjects. And there's a program on TV or on the computer. Hillsdale College has online courses that are free, all different subjects, literature, philosophy, religion. They even have a course on C.S. Lewis that we're having a course starting here that I'm anxious to attend. And I read a lot.
Right.
And so having these different pillars is another opportunity to learn more in different areas of life.
And continually learn, yes.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by Tom. we'll come down and we'll be working out, and I was like, what are you doing in all of your online education? And well, I'm studying this, I'm doing this math stuff, I'm doing all these specialized games, but constitutional law. I mean, he's just learning ongoing, right? And I think that is.
But that's what keeps you sharp. That's what they keep saying, is that you have to learn new things all the time, and it keeps your mind going. You know.
And it's limitless. I mean, there's so many things out there that you can pick and choose to learn about.
That's right.
Everybody could find something.
And you attend the university classes as well, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he's a big proponent of that. I think the other thing that's fun with Tom, and just last week was his first day with us over in the water.
Oh, really?
And we started doing a really good water class, and did you have fun in there?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and looking forward to more.
And so the more we do in the water, I think it's going to pay dividends for those that want to work on their balance, but in a very safe environment. Like if you fall in the pool, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
It's safe, right? But we're doing all this. We do a lot of single leg stuff, a lot of core engagement, but all these balance exercises where in the performance center or at home would be a little nervous about falling, and in the pool and that environment of body weight off you, it's like a lot of fun things in there, I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
So he comes in right before the Parkinson's group.
Oh, great.
So he came in with a whole nother group and did their thing, and then it was awesome. And then here came in the Parkinson's group.
So coming in.
It was pretty cool to see that many bodies coming together in there, wasn't it? So, well, thank you, Tom.
So wonderful. Thank you for being on the show today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you
really
for having us.
appreciate it. We
Absolutely.
appreciate everything that you do, because he really is the poster child for Zoe life.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. On today's fitness tip, we wanted to give you a really good strength circuit utilizing dumbbells that kind of takes into account your full upper body. So it's going to get some biceps, it's going to get some shoulders, it's going to work on your posture. And Tom really likes this along with a lot of our other residents because it gets some circulation going. Now, Grode right now is going to use pretty light weights so he can show off all of them at the same time. But the idea for us at this age group is to never get into a real heavyweight category. We like to keep it a little bit lighter and do a lot of really good quality reps and a lot of reps. We want to maintain good posture, and we want to do enough where we get circulation happening in the body. So one thing we do before we do any weights is we love to warm up the body. So when you come down to the Performance Center, you'll see people in our strength zone, and they're constantly doing the same routine. We love to warm up the same way so that the body learns it. So the first swinging we do is swing these arms. We usually do about 3 sets of 10. Residents working on their posture, we're working on just movement patterns, okay? It's never about speed, it's just about getting some circulation to GER, okay? Then you're gonna go like this, Grode, elbows open, close, right behind the ears, close and open. So we're just working on that range of motion. So for somebody like Grode, we wanna get those elbows to touch, open wide. For others, it's a little bit smaller range of motion, that's okay, but the blood is warming up. And before we do any lifting of any kind, especially in this age, we love to make sure we're safe about it. We want to get some blood to occur. Okay, go ahead and relax there. Now we're going to go straight open, straight close. Arms out, good. And so someone like Tom, we can do it eyes open, we can do it eyes closed, either way. We like to just get this to occur before we start lifting. Okay, and then the final one would be circle pattern. So above your eyes, we just like to get some circles here. Again, and we like the 30 number, 30 forward, 30 reverse, 30 of these, 30 of these, 30 of these. That's kind of our circuit. We kind of have some other ones, and what's funny is we do a lot of these with our football quarterbacks. So you'll see a lot of the NFL guys, a lot of the collegiate guys, even high school guys on the field before games, they're doing the same type of warm-ups, okay? It's the idea of circulation. Now, as soon as that circulation is done, Tom is going to be given the weights. Now, the first one we're going to do is all the way down to his side. He's going to do a pattern that we call 21s. He goes halfway, he goes back down. He'll do that 7 times. After he gets the 7th one, he'll pause, he'll go up to his shoulders, back down to that same spot. He'll do that 7 times. Then he'll complete it by doing the full range. So he'll go 7, and then show the other half, shoulders to here, 7 of those. Good. And now show all the way down, all the way up, followed by 7 of those. So breaking that circuit up of 7, 7, and 7 really kind of shocks those biceps. But no matter what weight you're using, even if it's 2.5 pounds, 1 pound, all the way up to 10, 20, whatever pounds, no matter what your strength levels are, those 7-7-7 circuits, or sometimes we do 10, 10s, and 10s, really pay dividends. So we love that exercise. Now, Tom sometimes works the same muscle pattern by standing on one foot, okay? We like to stand on one foot if the participant can do it, because we're working the balance needs. So it's always an option. Go ahead and stand on a foot. Tom, I'm gonna support you, either foot. Good, okay, go ahead, 7-7-7. You can see now, I got him a little bit, but he's concentrating. Okay, anytime that we can work balance into a strength exercise, the better. Okay, go ahead and relax. So that shows you a way, as we're doing 7s, we're doing these 21s, we like to incorporate some balance. Now the next exercise, go ahead and put them right on your side, elbows in. We like to do open and close. Elbows stay inside. Open, close, open, close. Okay, and with this one we get 3 15s, 3 sets of 20. Again, you can see so much of our work in here is on that posture. Just posture open and really keeping the elbows connected. Okay, followed by right up on your shoulders, Grode, straight above your head. Okay, so we go 21s, followed by this open, followed by this shoulder press. And this is in that 3 sets of 15 as well. So circulatory work, all the warm-ups we did, followed by 3 sets of each one of those, you're gonna have a great upper body sequence. Perfect.
So today I have someone that I want to introduce to you. Ronnie Connor has joined our team, and he is responsible on campus for all of our content and making sure that in our collateral pieces, everything kind of blends and looks the same for our brand going forward. So Ronnie, I'd like you to meet everybody that's watching ZoeTV.
Hello, everybody.
And we'd like to welcome Ronnie and have him tell us a little bit about maybe where he came from, what he does, what you've done in the past, that kind of thing.
Well, my background is graphic design. I've done design work for over 20 years now. And this is the second company working in aging services of some sort. So I'm excited to be here. I have the opportunity to look at the brand as a whole, the Glencroft brand, the ZoeLife brand, everything, and kind of make it more consistent and concise and professional.
Right, absolutely. And so a lot of you will be affected by this because anything that we produce on campus is going to go through Ronnie to be checked and make sure that we have the right logos on there. We do have a 50th anniversary logo that's going to be put on all of our collateral material for this full year. And so if you have any questions or anything that you're doing, Ronnie's the person to talk to. He's also working with Steve and I on our ZoeLife branding and making sure that everything is consistent with that as well. So
yeah, so first and foremost, let me apologize for being a stickler for the brand, but it is what I'm here for, and I'm excited to work with everybody.
Yeah, he's already started doing the resident rep packet, kind of redoing and consolidating some of those forms. He's looked over our packet that's going out to our ZoeLife ambassadors. Any department area that has collateral material that's going out, Ronnie will be looking at and making sure, like I said, that it's consistent. So Ronnie, how long have you lived here in the Valley?
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, this last August was 20 years, so 20 and a half.
And where did you come from?
I grew up in San Jose, California. So very expensive. That's why I ended up moving to Arizona, actually. Yeah.
And you have a big family.
Yes, I have 2 older sisters and a younger brother.
Yes.
Lots of nieces and nephews. And then great nieces and nephews now. So yeah, and I have a 17-year-old son.
Yes.
So you've kind of been around senior living and seen other perspectives and other ways of doing things. Tell us what you, being fairly new to this environment, what you feel like ZoeLife is doing maybe proactively for aging, and maybe how this campus, just from a new lens, how we're differentiating ourselves from the norm.
So there are many programs similar to ZoeLife. I've seen them in all over, different states, different communities, etc. But this is one that I see the residents really excited about. Also, it's well developed. This is one program where I see Glencroft has invested in the program itself rather than putting the cart before the horse. They've really taken into consideration how it's working, how the residents respond to it, and the employees as well.
Don't you think it's very hands-on? I think that's what sets us apart from everybody else, is that anybody out there can have a wellness program, but what we have put into our program, the holistic approach to wellness and aging well, is, to me, what sets us apart from everybody else. We're very hands-on. Steve designed an amazing program. Of course, it's based on the 6 pillars of care, but of wellness. But don't you think that's kind of the difference?
I think that the hands-on approach is what makes it successful, because anything that didn't quite work or pan out the way it was intended was like changed or dropped or made to work better.
Yeah.
So it really has taken everybody to develop this.
Yeah, I think that's a good perspective, because when we started this thing back in August and planning it, you know, you start with an idea and a concept and you think, okay, this is going to work, and then over the course of time things have to change and adjust. But being that we are constantly in the fire with ZoeLife and adjusting in real time, right? Like we got these classes going on. Well, shoot, we just tried to schedule a Parkinson's swim class at the same time as the C.S. Lewis class, and that backfired. So we're trying, but it's in real time, but it's all for the betterment of the resident.
Absolutely.
And I think what's been so cool about this journey is the residents know they're on this journey of creating the framework for what ZoeLife is. And they're vested into that process. Like, they love being a part of this initial change of this campus. And like, my legendary status at Glencroft is going to be the framers of that program. I hear that all the time. It's like, I'm going to be one of the original people that did this. And 20 years, they'll still be talking about me. That's what they say.
Being flexible, which I've noticed, I mean, that's really been key to making this a success. You know, you have the standards that you want to uphold, but then the flexibility to make those.
That's right.
Well, I think, you know, as we age, everybody wants to feel good. I mean, you want to be able to age the very best you possibly can. And as with the interviews that we've had on this show since we've been doing this show, everyone has said the same thing. You know, I feel better, I have more energy, I have more stamina, I'm stronger, you know, and that's really important.
I think it can be overwhelming when you as an individual know that you need to be doing more exercise, you need to be doing more thinking on your own. You know, it becomes very, very overwhelming. And then when you put it into steps, step by step, it's you introduce a little at a time. Though I have heard you can be tough on people, so, you know, but it gives them a step-by-step way to
it's true though that we try to have somebody like Tom, who was on earlier, who goes all in education. I'm doing every lecture, I'm learning even beyond that on my own. I'm working out 4 days a week. I'm your post-child, all the way down to somebody that just comes to 1 lecture a month.
Absolutely, that's right.
But it's just to them, it's just customizable. Instead of just, here's a box, everybody has to fit in that box. And that's and I think that's what a lot of campuses try to do, is call a wellness program, but they don't have the resources and the manpower, and the bandwidth to put all of this idea into customized approach.
And that customized approach is what is attractive. People aren't afraid of it.
That's right.
And you know, you came from Area Agency on Aging, just this past position that you had, and they have a lot of individual programs, but you have to be able to go to each of the programs, whereas we have it all. It's all right here. So right in your backyard. So that's what makes it really special, I think, too. So,
I agree.
Well, Ronnie, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and welcome to Glencroft, and we love having you here.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
What a show!
I know.
I mean, what a great show.
This
right?
was so good, and I loved talking to Tom.
Grode.
Yeah.
Grode's, I say it every week, but we have so many favorites, but Tom is one of these guys that just jumped all in with us on our programming, and he is a guy that works out hard. He eats great.
Yes.
He loves to learn.
Yeah.
He embodies everything that we're trying to create on campus here, and Tom is truly one of our poster child.
I know,
for sure.
I love it. And I'm glad that we get to know Ronnie a little bit better and what he's doing with content marketing and that type of thing. He's a great addition to our team here on campus, so you'll be seeing a lot more of him as well.
Yeah,
so.
and I was just hungry and waiting in anticipation of the next 2 weeks till we get to finalize.
We're gonna get this recipe done.
It's gonna be awesome.
Guarantee it.
And it's kind of cool to get little pieces each week.
It is. Very
culminate in
creative.
an amazing dish.
Very creative, yes.
So, very cool. And so this week we've had a great university lineup.
Yes.
We've had some amazing classes.
Yeah.
And our Parkinson's program started.
Right.
So we got a week under our belts, and they're really enjoying life. Every day is something different. Dance, speech, water, virtual reality, fine art painting class, everything that's kind of embodies movement and speech and everything that comes with Parkinson's. So we're off to a great start with more to come.
So excited about this program.
Yeah, absolutely. So another week under our
I
belt.
know.
It's exciting.
Thanks for joining us.